Welcome back, everyone, to another Uninformed Movie Reviews. Yes, salutations, everybody, and we're celebrating. It's the end of 2020. And
we did it! We did it! Yeah!
We got that far. And today we have our annual year in review. I think this is our third one.
Third annual. It's official.
Yeah, it really is.
It's my first one.
Welcome,
Thanks
Danny.
for
We're
having me
excited
on.
to have you.
You've always been a bean in your heart. Don't you worry.
Good old Beansy. And that's really the origins of the channel. You know, it started off, the channel was just called David and Frank. And then when Danny came on board, we were like, oh, Danny Beans, old Danny 12 nicknames. Let's get him in here too. But
it's a slight slur, but I'll let it slide.
It's okay because we're Hispanic. But anyway, today we're doing our year in review episode where we talk about like the favorite things we've watched this year, our top picks, top moments of the year, things that really stood out just for us.
Which we really had to dig for this time for some reason.
And we got a delightful game too that you all at home can play, huddled around the transistor radio.
I'm dying with anticipation. I have no idea what's in store.
Yeah,
Hopefully you hadn't made it through all of your stores yet.
Ooh, which kind of makes it our first unprepared and unresearched in quite a while.
Oh, that's true. Hey. This is a very old school podcast, actually. Well, Frank, we're going to kick it over to you first, pin clicker, and tell us, what you got on your list, man. What was good about 2020 for Franklin?
So I have some movies to shout out. And I think the first movie that I want to go with is The Invisible Man. Pretty solid release for 2020. A year where many of our releases we were supposed to get, we did not get. But this one was not a letdown. There's one caveat. There's a tiny CGI scene with some CGI worse than Blade Trinity. But besides that, really solid flick.
Yeah, that scene was very startling, man.
Yeah, it was startling how bad they used a technology that's been around for quite some time.
That's probably my favorite movie of 2020, considering that there's not a ton of movies that came out this year. And I totally forgotten about it until you said it right now.
It's been a long year, man.
But it's nice when Blumhouse puts out a good one. Did you see that
to
one,
the point
Danny?
where, yeah, dude, I loved Invisible Man. It was Lee Winnell also who did The Invisible Man, the guy from Insidious and Saw and Upgrade. I don't know if you guys have seen Upgrade, but you should check out Upgrade if you have not.
I don't believe I have.
I remember after watching.
It's like a sci-fi action, like a murder revenge tale with sci-fi. It's really cool. It's basically Cyberpunk 2077. Now that I think about it.
Does it have as many wieners?
It has one less Keanu, and unfortunately, you don't see wieners.
Oh, what a bummer! What a letdown. This has been like a year of Elizabeth Moss for me. Like, I love Elizabeth Moss, and I never really watched anything with her until now. Like, I saw some of Mad Men when it came out. I think I saw the first season. I was in high school at the time, and I was like, man, this is really slow, isn't it? Like, what's happening in this show? But I had watched Handmaid's Tale this year. I know it's not 2020, but Elizabeth Moss is really good at playing, like, terrified on, like, borderline, like, I don't know, what's the word? Like, she's about to have a psychotic breakdown, you know what I mean? At any moment. She's really
a little
good at
bit of an air of like being a captive of some sort.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like it's not that far off because she is a Scientologist, so she is.
You hate to see it happen.
Basically held captive.
Yeah,
I'm conflicted with Elizabeth Moss. I like her. I think she's very talented, and I've watched her in shows for a long time. But then I found out, that she's pays into Scientology and is a Scientologist. So I was like, I don't know. I
understand that. That's why I can't like get behind Tom Cruise. It just bothers me when I watch a movie with Tom Cruise.
I have a lot of reasons I can't get behind Tom Cruise.
Yeah, his acting is above that. Yeah, his acting's worse on my list than the Scientology thing, to be fair. So, well, what else you got, Frank?
Another movie I want to shout out, and I feel like this is a good one because it wasn't exactly released this year, but it was re-released this year for the 10-year anniversary. And I had never seen this movie before this year when we reviewed it for the channel. Inception.
Oh, how funny.
Finally got you to watch it.
Finally,
Yeah,
watch it.
And while I wasn't like over the moon about it because people had just built it up for me for like 10 years, you know what I mean? Finally got out of the way. Solid
There you
watch. It's an essential film.
Yeah, I think Inception you got to watch a couple times too. I think it's one of those movies that grows as you watch it. But it felt dated watching it this last time around.
Not for me.
I remember thinking that just some of the dialogue felt very like early 2010s, which is a weird thing to say, but I think it's such a heavy stylized movie that a lot of people kind of, a lot of people copied, and you feel it. You feel it when you watch it.
Yeah, and that probably weighed in on like my outlook on the movie for viewing it because I had seen so many of the references. I'd seen it referenced in pulp culture so many times that like the big kind of concepts were already memed for me. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that I finally got it out of the way. Now I never have to like go through telling a person like, "Oh, I've never seen Inception."
And they're like, what? You never seen Inception?
Yeah.
That's like probably one of the few moments that you've really felt like Mary in our friend group. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, oh, you haven't seen this movie, Mary?
Yeah, for those of you unfamiliar with Character Limit Exceeded, our movie review segment, Mary is our drummer from our band Phantom Kin. Check us out, Spotify, wherever you like to listen to your music.
Nice plug.
Shout out to y'all in Poland. Yeah, she's our drummer, and she doesn't know nothing about pop culture.
Yeah, she's like, what's Indiana Jones? It's like, oh gosh.
Essentially, if it's before 2006, I don't think she knows it.
Fair.
It's pretty strange.
Who's next?
Shout out to Mary, TikTok influencer.
Does somebody else
yeah.
want to take a movie? Because I can just keep going. I got more.
Well, why don't you just give us your list, man? Yeah.
All right, here comes the rest of my list. Another big one for us this year. Also a channel feature. Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Yeah.
How very exciting.
You know what? I take back my previous comment. This is my favorite movie of 2020.
It was so enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was everything that I wanted out of the movie except for a plug for the place that I work at when I was trying not to think about work.
The Guitar Center plug.
Yeah.
At the end, man. They go hard on that Guitar Center plug.
I was just like, oh my God, those Mustang ones are on sale right now for $129.
Every time I like when a franchise has been dead for like 25 years and they bring it back with another movie, I'm always like, oh no, this is going to be scary. But Bill and Ted, I think, is the most successful. It pulled it off way better than Star Wars did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also like lower bar too, and that's the key.
Yeah, everyone just went in looking to have a good time because that's all those movies are. There's about having a good time.
And good times were had. If you haven't watched the new Bill and Ted yet and you're a fan of the old ones, like you need to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's very much like exactly what you get out of the first two movies. If you haven't watched any of the Bill and Teds, like watch them.
And you got to watch them in order. It wouldn't make sense to skip to the last one.
Very true.
You're going to miss a whole bunch.
It's funny to say because I haven't watched any of them still.
That's so surprising to me,
Still
man.
have not
surprising
seen
to
Bill
me.
and Ted.
Maybe Danny's family didn't eat Pizza Hut as often as ours in the 90s.
That's what we learned. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we were chubby little 90s babies.
Yeah.
Because all that Pizza Hut we were eating.
The Hut used to be real good. Don't get me wrong. Pizza Hut used to dominate, and then it got real bad. Pizza Hut's probably the worst pizza delivery place, I would argue right now.
Ooh, that's a hot take. I don't know if I'd go worst, but
Yeah, because
Come on, when's the last time you ordered Pizza Hut when you thought about getting pizza?
well, it wasn't even for the pizza; it's for the wings. You know
Wing
what I mean?
Street, yeah.
The Wing Street wings are pretty good, man.
because the Domino wing offerings, let's be
Yeah.
honest, are a little lacking.
Yeah, but
and
Domino's
you get the
took over
chicken
Pizza
bites
Hut.
from Domino's. Like that's where you get those little
That was pretty good.
things with the Alfredo and stuff.
Yeah. Welcome back to the pizza review podcast.
Yeah, we're talking about our favorite pizza places.
Our
Uninformed
favorite
pizza
pizzas
reviews.
of 2020. But yeah, there's not a lot to say about Bill and Ted's. Super awesome. Watch it. Don't be an idiot. My next film to shout out for 2020, Borat, subsequent movie film.
That's on my
Another
list too.
Yeah, dude, that's another sequel that had been way too long, and I thought like, I mean, this could be bad, man, and it totally wasn't. It was surprisingly a very watchable movie, and secrets are revealed.
I still haven't seen that, and I feel like I need to watch it soon, or else it's going to be like none of this matters.
Wait, you didn't
anymore.
watch
I mean,
the Borat
watch it-
movie?
No, not the new one.
You need to watch it for
I
the
thought
Rudy
you had.
Giuliani stuff alone, man.
Yeah.
The other thing is too is I've seen that scene so many times now, and like in various like online commentary videos that I'm like, well, I kind of get what's going on, but I want to see the rest of it. Because he's funny.
It's a good movie.
I don't like Borat. I didn't like the first Borat at all.
Oh, honestly, if you didn't like the first Borat, you're probably not going to like the second one.
I don't know.
It's very
I feel
much
like
like the
you
same
have
humor.
his daughter kind of takes the reins on this one too. His character daughter. So you definitely don't have to worry about like an over exposure of Borat. It's less Borat-y than the first Borat.
It's kind of weird because like Borat kind of grows up in the film. Like as you're watching the film progress, it kind of like changes.
Interesting. Okay.
But I love the work of Sacha Baron Cohen, man. That guy does great stuff.
Yeah.
Bruno was a bit much.
Bruno is hard to watch. I love it, but it's hard to watch. I just love that one scene in Bruno where like he orchestrates the WWE match and stuff, you know? Have you remember
that's
that where
pretty
he like does it in this red town? And like he essentially gets all these dudes like riled up and he like talks about hating on homosexuals, and then like he's about to get in a cage fight with this big burly dude, and then he just like starts making out with him and everyone starts booing and causing a riot. It's fantastic.
I've never seen Borat either. Or Borat Bruno. Sorry. The man and his 5-letter titles starting with B.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Danny.
Oh, I was just going to say, we watched Rare Exports and that had a lot of donger in it. And this is a donger alert because Bruno, if you ever watch it, has too much dong.
And, there's like a good solid 5 minutes of like close up windmill penis. Like, in like high def, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And that's what I always think of first when I think of that movie.
So you're telling me I need to get the Blu-ray is what you're saying?
Yeah, in the highest definition possible.
Okay.
So you can go, man, that guy should get that mole checked out.
Wow. Wow, okay.
The last film on my list, it was actually a Netflix release, but pretty solid, kind of off of the main fare of what we talk about on the channel, but The Outpost, which is like a drama action movie about an indefensible outpost in Afghanistan and the attack that they underwent. Solid war film. Cool. Real good. I feel like I didn't hear anything about this. It just showed up on my Netflix feed one day. Highly recommend. Great watch. Orlando Bloom's in that movie.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah, solid movie. I think like the ratings that I'm seeing like on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, there's a little bit of that like patriotism skew, you know what I mean? I think the ratings are a little bit higher than earnestly what the movie deserves, but it's still a really solid movie.
It's like the people who watch that movie love that movie because the movie was made for a certain group of people.
But nonetheless, solid watch. And if you have a Netflix subscription, it's free. So, I mean, just take a shot on it.
It's gonna be like pulled off next week.
And it covers like a battle where it has the most Medal of Honor recipients from a single battle. So it's like a pretty epic event that they cover.
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard about the battle. Interesting, man. I'll check that out. I'm in the mood for a war movie for sure.
Solid war movie.
Yeah.
And at least for movies, that pretty much wraps it up for me. I've got some life stuff, like not so personal, but stuff that kind of affected everybody. But we can circle back around to that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Which of you movie reviewers has some movies you would like to talk about next?
I'll go next if Danny looks hesitant.
Go on.
I just see it in his eyes. I don't have a lot of movie picks, to be honest, this year. You kind of covered the ones that I've seen. Invisible Man and Bill and Ted. I don't know if I've seen any other movies released in 2020 this year. Of course, it was slim pickings, but I did put on my list a couple movies that really stood out to me because obviously as doing a movie review podcast, we're going to see a lot of stuff we haven't seen. When I was going back through all the stuff that we'd done this year, I kind of realized, like, man, I've even seen most of these movies already. like the first 3 ranking episodes, there wasn't like a single movie that I hadn't seen already. Okay, but the ones that really stood out to me, first off, the music box. I just want to shout out old Ryan Riddle, and
I'm sure Ryan Reynolds will appreciate it too.
Yeah, I'm sure he will too. And composer Danny B over here. slash G. It's a great watch, man. I really like it. I'm excited for more people to see it. I hope it gets I don't know how you go about releasing short films online, you know what I mean? But I'm excited to see where that goes and to see what else that guy has together. It was so cool for him to come on the show, and just a real interesting guy and just a nice dude too.
Real class act, Ryan Little is. We'll have to get him on for his next release.
Yeah, we got to get him on for something else too. The other movie that really stood out to me, and yeah, my list is super short. Train to Busan. This movie was recommended to me. No, just the first one. This movie was recommended to me
Not Peninsula.
years ago, man. It must have been like 5 years ago that a buddy of mine, Joe Estala, a huge horror fan, he was like, "You need to watch Train to Busan. It's on Netflix. It's amazing." And then I just never did it. And then more people were recommending it. And then finally I was like, okay, let's watch this thing.
All right. It's not a Robert Rodriguez film. I guess I can take this recommendation.
I can check it out. And shoot, man, what a great movie. What a great movie.
So, like, very character strong.
Yeah, great characters. And I just love, for a zombie movie, if you don't nail the zombie, you're going to have a hard time winning me over.
And I will say, like, to jump on top of that, like, you got to do a lot to get me on board with fast zombies, like to get me to overlook some zombies that can run. And I looked right past
I'm over that stuff, man. Yeah. I agree with that. I'm like, do not want to watch a fast running zombie movie anymore.
Anti shout out to World War Z.
Anti shout out.
Shame out.
Never watch. But yeah, Train to Busan, the zombies are so terrifying, but they also have like their own rules. You know what I mean? They're not lazy about it.
South Koreans, fantastic work ethic.
Fantastic work ethic.
I have to say that I've heard that Train to Busan Peninsula is extremely lackluster.
Yeah, I've also heard the same thing.
I was at Target a few days ago picking up some stuff, and they had it on Blu-ray, and I was going to buy it. And then I was like, no.
That actually got you to not buy it.
Well, it was just, all I've heard is negative stuff. You know what I mean? And then I was like, well, it was $15 too. I was like, if this was like $8, maybe I'd take a chance on it. But $15 at Christmas time for a movie that's going to suck, I don't know about that.
I was going to say, like, all I've heard is, just that, like we were talking about with fast moving zombies, that it's just another crap out fast moving zombies, computer graphics extravaganza, and hollow and flat, doesn't have half of the things that the first one made great.
You know what they say, lightning only strikes once, unless you're that park ranger that got struck by lightning like 6 times.
Yeah, I'm sure it's one of those cases of like, they're like, wow, this movie's made a lot of money and a lot of people are into it. Let's cash in on this. But
what's funny is people who get struck by lightning are actually more likely to get struck by lightning again. Their chances actually increase.
Well, take that, you stupid saying.
Yeah.
This next one's a bit unkosher, but I feel like it counts. If I had to say what my favorite movie of 2020 was, that's not Bill and Ted, it might be Last of Us 2, Last of Us Part 2.
Heck yeah. You pulled a Frank.
It is a movie, you know what I mean? It's definitely a long form narrative. Of course, you have to play it. And I just think it's so funny, like the divisive nature. Everyone's so upset about Last of Us 2. I won't spoil anything. I know Frank hasn't even like played any of them.
I'm working through the first one.
Okay, well then I definitely won't say any spoilers here. But
so good.
It's just so funny to see the internet community get upset for, variety of reasons, whatever. But the storytelling's great. And what I love about the storytelling is there was a predictable way to do a sequel. Like hit these story beats and send everybody home happy. And they go the opposite. They like go out of their way to make you feel uncomfortable and to like make you not want to play parts of the game. Like, I don't want to do this. This is awful. Why are they making me do this? But kudos to you, Naughty Dog. That's what we should be doing.
I was going to say that's a sign of a fantastic video game.
Yeah.
If you could like hate it and be like, God, man, and then keep coming back.
Yeah.
That's a solid video game right there.
Exactly, man.
I think they probably got tired of making the same game over and over again when they made it Uncharted. So they had to go into Uncharted territory and make something different with The Last of Us.
Yeah, Uncharted's pretty by the book. I mean, the last one switches it up a bit, but it's Indiana Jones, the video game.
It's 4 of the same games.
Yeah, it really is. Well, 5 if you count that spinoff. But anyway, the last thing I have is actually my top pick of the year. And it's a Netflix limited series. I got to pick The Queen's Gambit.
Ooh, that's on my list as well.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I haven't finished it yet, so please no big spoilers. I think I'm like on episode 5 or 6.
Okay, so the last episode,
I'm in Mexico right now. Is the best way I could. Or I just left Mexico. I'm just got back to Kentucky.
You know, it's one of those character-driven stories where we see, you know, a la Breaking Bad or something. The point is to see the character grow.
You said Allah, and that's not what I thought you were talking about. I was like, what happens in the rest of this word? Like
when she converts to Islam in episode 6, it was a massive bomb drop. But yeah, I'm loving Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she's like my favorite actress right now. She's really talented. And this is my favorite performance from her for sure. This Queen's Gambit is excellent. And you also get that really goofy looking kid from Game of Thrones. I don't know what his name. I'm sure it's Benji. I'm pretty sure his Game of Thrones name is Benji.
And we get the kind of peculiar looking dude from The Devil All the Time.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, who's the kid from Game of Thrones in the Queen's Gambit?
The one who's
the other one who's got the powers with Bran.
Yeah.
Who like has the seizures. They hang out in the tree for a
Oh my
long
God,
time.
Jojen? I forgot that was him.
There we go. I thought
The
it was
one that
Benji.
looks like a giant child that's just like
Yeah.
a scarecrow child.
In Queen's Gambit, he looks like a giant child dressed as a cowboy.
I didn't even recognize that was him. I honestly just like put 2 and 2 together from him being the Narnia kid that just never grew up. But like,
well, here's
I forgot
one more for you. Oh, sorry. You guys maybe missed this one. So the guy that she beats in her first tournament, you guys have both gotten that far,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Who thinks he's super confident that he's going to beat her. He shows up late. He's all smug and then he gets beat. That dude is Dudley Dursley from the Harry Potter films. He's Harry's cousin, the chubby one. Yeah, he's just super skinny now, man.
Dude, that's so funny.
Yeah.
oh, and then he's the guy from The Devil All the Time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Devil. Oh, and, you know, I didn't put Devil All the Time on my list, but I did really enjoy that movie. Character drama.
You know, I was thinking about it today when I was writing this list, and I just really wish I hadn't gotten the idea in my head that it was a horror movie, and I still don't know 100% how that happened.
I'm
I
still a little
hold strong
salty about
that
it.
Netflix for like a day had it in their
They
horror
did.
section.
I mean, we
saw looked at the
together.
list, right?
Yeah.
I still stand that if we had gone into that knowing it was a slow drama, but we would have enjoyed it much more.
Yeah. But ultimately,
Agreed.
you know, some of those long dramas, they're fun, but then it's like, when am I ever going to watch this again? You know, I'm not going to like fire this up every Sunday afternoon or something. All right, Danny, what about you, man? What are your picks of the year?
Oh man, you know, you're right. I mean, there was slim pickings. It's very scarce, but there were some shining moments throughout it. I'd have to say one of my favorite moments, actually going to see this in one of the theaters here before theaters weren't a thing anymore. The Lighthouse.
That's one I still need to watch.
One of my favorite movie-going experiences. It was a wild ride, let me just say that. And it is... At first, I thought it was going to be one of those movies I just don't ever watch again, but I've been craving to rewatch it. I actually have rewatched it again. I might watch it a third time, too. It's that good. Also, it's Robert
Man,
Eggers.
who would have thought that brooding, shiny vampire would have gone on to do so much dope stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I hope his Batman's good too. I'm curious about that.
I think he's legitimately becoming one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, dude does really good work. Have you ever seen Good Times?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
seen
sad
Good
movie.
Times. I
That
haven't
movie's
seen that
really
yet.
good.
Have you guys seen
You haven't
Harry
seen it,
Potter
David?
and the Goblet of Fire? No, I haven't seen Good Times yet. No, I haven't.
You should.
I think
mean,
you
I
would
thought,
like Good Times.
Yeah, if you're going through A24, you probably need to hit that one.
Okay.
Let's see. Moving on down. Definitely one of my high points. I've done a lot of rewatches of film legacies this entire year because we have time. But leading up to the release of Tremors Shrieker's Island, I rewatched the entire... Actually, I did it twice. I rewatched the entire Tremors series.
What?
Most impressive.
Danny, you were like the Tremors fan. I don't know if anyone likes these movies more than you.
And
Dude,
I
like I
didn't even
said,
think
like,
I was.
I fell off a lot sooner in the saga before Danny did. But I've seen like the first three movies I've seen just countless times as a child.
Yeah.
Is the fourth one the Old West one?
I think it's the third one.
Whichever one the Old West one is, like, no, it's definitely the fourth one, because the first one's just the worms. The second one's the Walkie Boys. The third one is the Fly Boys.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one, they go back in time. I saw that movie one time and I was like, okay, no more Tremors for Frank.
Yeah, the fourth one is
but
so
Danny,
bad.
you've restored my faith. I need to finish this film saga up.
Is Tremors 4 a time traveling movie or like
No,
the
they
story?
It's not a
itself?
time travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought for a
Rufus shows
second.
up in a phone booth.
Damn. Must watch.
Yeah. Like Frank was saying, I've seen the first four like many, many times on TNT or whatever dumb channel they're always on.
As you do.
But then once it got on Netflix, I hadn't seen 5 and 6, the most recent ones, like past 2010. And I fell in love with them. I thought they were awesome. And then so I was just like, man, I can't wait till Shrieker Island comes out. And I was worried it wasn't going to. And I was just browsing through Netflix one day and bam, there it was. And I was like, well, I got to rewatch the entire thing before I can watch this. And boy, howdy, what a ride. Obviously, they're not the best movies in the world.
Ranking episode
they're
coming
just,
soon.
Yeah. They're not the best movies in the world, but they're just so fun to watch.
I gotta dive
feel
back
like-
in.
What? Oh yeah.
Oh,
I feel like the later ones,
these.
later ones definitely like further the whole lore better. It's really cool. I really like the tone of the later ones.
All right, my most important question for the Tremors series, Danny, is Earl still around? Because he's my reason for showing up, man.
No,
He's like the gun nut character.
Earl's been gone since like the third one, I think.
Oh no.
Well, he's in 4 because I remember being like, they even got this guy back for the Old West one. It's like his great.
No, you're thinking
They do the same
Bert,
thing with
not Earl.
that's who I'm thinking of. Bert the gun nut. That's who I was.
Bert is in all of them. Bert is the reason for the season. He's why they come back.
Yeah, you got to wait till Bert shows up with this truck full of explosives. You know what I mean? To get the party started.
Wow.
Yeah,
Growing up, I wanted to be Bert.
And you succeeded.
I saw his wall of guns and I was like, wow, one day.
A man can dream.
And it's all just about working slowly towards that goal.
It's really interesting because you would think that what's his name? Michael Richards, I think his name is, the guy that plays Bert. You would think that his role gets like more and more diluted as the things go on, but he carries that series so well. It gets so much better each time. And especially in this last one, you're like, damn. I mean, it's essentially like Logan in the Tremors universe.
That is definitely not something I was expecting to hear.
I am so skeptic, but at the same time, like so curious. I don't know what this feeling is.
I mean, don't go in there expecting to watch like an Oscar-worthy movie.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, obviously, but okay.
Definitely fun. Another brief highlight of this year was when we were doing our John Hughes movie ranking, which is back in our catalog. Go ahead and scroll up when you're done with this. Raven and myself have never seen Uncle Buck, and oh my god, what just a pleasant surprise that was. Just
Yeah, that
amazing.
is a solid film.
Like meeting
Probably
a new friend.
So it was like meeting a new friend.
Yeah, exactly. Probably like one of my favorite John Hughes movies now. More so than other ones for sure, but I was just pleasantly surprised. Like at the end of it, I was just like, I had this warm feeling and I was just like, man, how have I never seen that movie before? So good. Classic. Quick shout outs. I mean, I got to say The Boys season 2, I was waiting all year for it and also worried that they were just going to ruin it with the sophomore slump. And that did not happen at all. And it was a super pleasurable watching experience. Also, the reason for the season, The Mandalorian season 2.
How have I not? Man. Cheers to you, Danny. I can't believe I forgot that.
Probably the highlight of watching stuff this year is The Mandalorian season 2. And I actually did myself a favor in like not watching the first one as soon as it premiered. I waited until probably like the third or the fourth one had been on there, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna take it bit by bit and 2 episodes at a time. You know what I mean? I'm caught up now, but especially these last episodes have just been amazing. This show is the best thing to happen to Star Wars, possibly since the original trilogy.
Man, and you know what? Bill Burr like kills it in that latest episode. And speaking of which, I mean, the Imperial officer that they're talking to and Bill Burr, like speaking of Game of Thrones cameos.
Oh yeah,
that's the Night King. But not iced.
Huh. And he's also in
thawed.
Tremors Shrieker's Island. He's the bad guy in Tremors Shrieker
Island. What? What is going on right now?
Fun stuff.
Yeah. So,
and you know what? You guys just no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Danny. I'll interrupt you when you're done.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is, you know that it stands the test of a good show because I was actually just sitting on the couch and I was like, talking to my girlfriend. I was like, you mind if I watch The Mandalorian? Because she's never watched any Star Wars. She has no interest in Star Wars. She has no interest in sci-fi at all.
That's so Raven.
Yeah, there it is. I just had to wait for it. Anyway, so she was like passively watching it and asking me things here and there, and like she's legitimately said at the end of it, where we are now, she's like, "This is a good show," and I was like, "Yeah,
no,
that's the test of a good show, good production, good writing. When you could just get some casual watcher to like understand what's going on without having to dive too deep into the lore and stuff." Now I'm gonna have to make her watch season 1, but. It's a great, amazing show.
You guys mentioned Bill Burr, and it made me remember, and I can't believe I didn't get it down on my list the first time, The King of Staten Island.
Oh, yeah.
That was released this year. Solid watch.
Did you watch it? I didn't watch it.
It was pretty good.
Didn't we do it for? Oh, it came out right after our movie ranking episode. That's why it wasn't in that episode, because the Judd Apatow one. But
yeah, I think we did it as like a run up to.
That is a good watch. I like Bill Burr the most, I guess.
Yeah.
I wish there was maybe a little more Bill Burr. He's like a more interesting character than.
And while we're at it, more Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, never a bad
Always.
Thing. Ooh. Anything else you got for us, Daniel San?
Yeah, I mean, honorable mention, I would say, like, from my just the deepest, nerdiest parts of my loving of film was Raised by Wolves on HBO Max. What an incredible show. I've talked about it a little bit. I've gushed a little bit about it, but it's the new series produced by Ridley Scott, and I think his son is also on it and probably one of the main showrunners as well. But it's a completely original story. It's really amazing. It's got some like deep cut sci-fi. It's got like parts from Alien and the whole universe that you'll love, but it's definitely something new. And it's just amazing to see like what they can do with a low budget, even though it has amazing effects. And it was definitely the reason for the season when I started watching on HBO Max. So I highly recommend it. I highly recommend Search Party if you've never seen it. It is also an HBO Max original. It's a series. I think it's 3 seasons deep. It's got that one girl from Arrested Development. I can't remember her name. It was George Michael, his cousin?
Maybe.
Who's the girl?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't remember the actress's name, but the character's name is Maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's who it is. She's basically the lead in that one. And a couple of unknown actors. It's actually a pretty not well-known cast, but it's hilarious. The episodes are super short, like 25, 30 minutes, but it's a comedy murder mystery. And it's amazing. You should watch it. I think that Michelle would love that show for sure. If you have HBO or HBO Max, it's probably on there. But yeah, Search Party. Check that out. You'll probably burn through it real quick. We watched it in like a day or two. It's
Aaliyah Shawkat. Shawkat. That's the name of this young lady. Shawkat. It's a really weird last name.
It's a weird name.
But yeah, as far as movie shout outs go, that's probably it for me. I'm kind of bummed because there was a lot of movies that were slated to come out this year that I was just dying to see. Namely,
I mean, some of them were
Dune.
releases we had scheduled even.
Yeah, like
I was excited for Dune. I was excited for Tenet, which I'll probably watch tonight, honestly, now that it's available on streaming. I was excited for The Conjuring. I don't know
Quiet
if...
Place 2, The Quieter Place.
our whole
that's
month
right.
of James Bond coverage leading up to No Time to Die that we have to reschedule for next year.
Totally.
Oh, just skip it.
We're doing a movie ranking in January, first podcast of January. Every James Bond movie ranked, all 24.
Oh, which reminds me, I'll be on vacation the entire month of January.
It's going to be just me talking to the computer.
Yeah, kicking it on. What are we going on to? Like life events now?
Life events?
Yeah, I have some life stuff, and I kind of went chronologically, and that's important because my list starts in July. Because we were just taking a whole bunch of L's at the start of this year, man. It was a real rough start.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean? But my first W on the list is the arrest of Ghislaine Maxwell on July 2nd, and the fact that she still hasn't turned up dead yet. There's hope. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Maybe we'll still get some information out of that lady, get some other scumbags in jail, which would be quite nice. Let's
is
get those
good.
fools off the street.
Yeah, man.
The longer she can stay alive, the better.
Agreed.
Second W that I have down takes place on August 14th. And it's the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruling that the California ban on high-capacity finger quote magazines violates the Second Amendment. And all the 30-round magazines sold out online, like instantly. It was crazy.
Well, 30
Is that only for rifles or
30
handguns?
standard capacity. Well, for magazines, but they still make it incredibly hard for you to buy your ammo. So there's that.
Oh, it's
there you go.
incredibly hard to buy anything here. Firearms related and otherwise.
Number 3 on my list, so September 23rd, a quite epic moment. As a result of the joining with Psyonix and the company Epic, Rocket League went free to play on all platforms.
Yeah.
Which supplied us a healthy stream of noobs to bash.
That is true. That is fun. Although I kind of, I'm annoyed that they said season 1 it's now like season 1.
Yeah, that was a little bit annoying.
Yeah, like, no, it's season like 13. What are
Yeah.
you talking about? It's not season 1.
Like I was there for season 1. It
I was
already
there for
happened.
season 1. I've seen this one. It's a rerun.
Yeah, that was a little bit annoying. And of course, the biggest W of the year, Donald Trump losing the election and the
Dang, that's on
legal
mine.
hissy fit that ensued. Just watching this guy cry like a baby.
And
You
it's
know,
still not done yet.
Oh no.
I'm kind of like indifferent about Joe Biden winning and Trump losing. I mean, I don't think it's really going to matter, I guess. I'm a little pessimistic about it.
That's why Joe Biden winning wasn't on my list.
Yeah,
But I
that's
gotta
exactly what I was going to say.
I love seeing Trump lose, and I love seeing him lose the election like 4 times a week for the last few weeks. It's like every time it comes out, like, oh no, his last chance at an appeal's been shut down. Oh, like everyone's turned, like the Electoral College has voted and it's official. It's like, and then I just keep scrolling through Facebook and seeing all these people saying that like Biden's not their president. I'm just laugh reacting everybody. I'm just loving this time. The internet
amazing.
trolling me is so exciting.
It's easy dunks like every day. I love it. It's the best thing.
And he keeps setting himself up for more and more and more. And it's
Exactly. It's like
beautiful.
watching a kid
Beautiful.
like with his shoes untied just trip constantly and get up and try and trip again.
Yeah, you think it's not going to be funny anymore, and then it just keeps being hilarious, and that's the best part.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's like one of my favorite parts. It's odd to say this, but that's like my favorite part about Trump is that he's too dumb to not say his plans out loud and give other people like time to be ready for the stupid stuff that he's about to pull. You know what I mean?
It's like, damn, how do they have a counter for that move already? It's like, because you told us all on Twitter exactly what you were going to do.
Yeah, that's my big W of the year too.
That's a good one, man. Is that all your W's?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I didn't lose my job, which is super dope.
Yeah.
I didn't, and as a matter of fact, I didn't lose it twice. You know what I mean? Which is pretty exciting. And And just for those of you that are curious, Guitar Center is not closing. Read the whole article instead of just the headline before you come to my store to ask me stupid questions.
This is probably the 10th or 11th time that Guitar Center has gone bankrupt. Like, it happens quite a bit, but...
Like, I've been an employee for 6 years, and I think it's happened 3 times since I've been there.
Yeah.
America, where corporations go bankrupt and they keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful thing. Rock, flag, and eagle. For me, my big W's of the year, I mean, I got a couple like really light things. First off, as a teacher going through virtual teaching this year, honestly, I think I've done pretty good. Especially when I like hear stories and like read memes and like on Reddit all the time. I'm seeing posts because I feel like it's a lot of teenagers on Reddit. Like, I'll see posts about like a teacher that they have in their class, and then I'm like, oh, this poor guy doesn't know what he's doing. Or I hear stories from my students like, oh, this other teacher doesn't even know how to like turn their camera on. I'm like, what? Like, this can't be real. Like, sure, they're teenagers over exaggerating, but
not all teachers are YouTubers. You know what I mean?
Well, and I was going to say, I'm like thankful because, just working on this podcast and all this stuff, I had a bunch of equipment already. And then I also had like somewhat of a technical know-how and like to navigate that space.
We've already spent the tears at this point.
Exactly. So I felt like incredibly grateful about that. I was just like in the right place at the right time.
I can't imagine how difficult it is, and it has been, for some of these teachers who are old and, aren't very tech savvy.
That's what I think about all the time, man. Like, and I feel really bad for them. It's like a lot to try and catch up. But at the same time, our job has always required technology. So it's like some of these people who've been not like purposefully not embracing technology because they're like, well, I like doing things this way. We're only going to do things on paper.
Who are still using their like overhead projector.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I don't like this computer thing. It's like, yeah, I feel bad for them, but some of them also, it's like, well, man, you
adapt or die.
We need to get in here. Like at the beginning of this year, they were like, you need to make sure you have a Google Classroom. I'm like, well, I've always had a Google Classroom. People don't do this. Like, it's 2019. People don't have a Google Classroom. Anyway, I'm getting on a weird tangent. The other thing, big W for the year for myself, not succumbing to the coronavirus.
Hey, we didn't lose David. Yeah. That's right. I can't believe that didn't make my list.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I just felt like the first day in particular, I was so sick. And for a second I was like, man, I really don't want to die. You know what I mean? Because we're all 30, practically.
Respectively.
We're 29,
Did that thought get to your head where you're just like, am I going to die? At least a little bit?
Yeah. The first day, it was there for a second. Like,
was it the day we were all claiming your possessions?
No, that was like 3 days later, and I was fine by then. Yeah, I just need I need to put it on record. The immediate reaction from our friend group was to start claiming what they were going to take after I died.
For the record, I didn't want anything physical. I just wanted your soul in the afterlife.
Not even a, oh, are you doing okay? Or like, what are your symptoms? Like, oh, when David dies, I'm going to get his records. So that was nice. It was nice to see where my friends are at. I'll remember that in the apocalypse.
For like your will, right?
Yeah, of course.
Sick.
But it's nervous, man. It's a nerve-wracking feeling to get a very deadly virus. And I just got to say to those people who are like, oh, it's not real, or masks or whatever, you need to wear. It's like, I got it from having like a 3-minute conversation with someone, and I was 6 feet apart. And I was wearing a mask. Like, you need to take precautions. And more importantly, if you're being irresponsible, you need to stay home if you're sick. Like, if you think you're sick, stay home.
Idiots.
It's not about your personal freedom. You're going to like kill somebody. It's very possible. So don't be selfish. But
yeah, that's right. The corona, which explains the 3-week period where it sounded like David's EQ was off. It was just him fighting the corona.
Exactly.
It's just to talk a bit about it, it's really interesting how much we didn't know about this virus at the beginning of the year, and how much we've known now, but we still don't know about it because how differently it affects everyone. Like, I'm fairly certain I've gotten tests. I get tests every week for work, but there are instances where it won't come up on a test, and I'm fairly certain that I've had it before, because there was one weekend where my mind was just cloudy. I couldn't like focus on one thing. I had a massive headache. like my breathing was off, and like I got very exasperated just from standing up, and I'm pretty sure I had it at that point. But it's just crazy. It's crazy how we're young and healthy, and it can debilitate us too.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts.
And I would just like to shout us out for making it 40 minutes into a 2020 review podcast before we mentioned the word coronavirus.
Well, you know, I had to ruin it.
Yeah, we did. But I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. You know, the big year for gaming. I mean, Animal Crossing was cool. Ghost of Tsushima, fun. Not game of the year. Get over yourselves, Last of Us haters. And there was one other thing. You know, Among Us has been such a great game to play this year. I've really enjoyed that. I'm on board with the bandwagon. It's a ton of fun. And Jackbox, man, there's been some good Jackbox nights. It helps kill that coronavirus boredom, hopping on Discord with some people. So that's been really cool too.
Oh, and shout out to tabletopia.com for making dreams happen.
For reals, letting you play the board games from a distance. But you know, two more quick things. One, just getting some nice records this year, guys. I gotta shout this out. You know, while at home, it's so easy to shop online. Too easy.
Yeah.
And the social media algorithm knows that I'll buy a soundtrack vinyl. But this was like the year of soundtrack vinyls. I got The Thing on vinyls. This like beautiful 2-part set. I just got Cowboy Bebop in the mail. It's ridiculous. Evangelion's getting delivered tomorrow, and I have the Last of Us 2 soundtrack coming in too. I'm just so excited about the soundtrack vinyls. They sound so beautiful. Please stop making them, internet.
The nice thing about the Evangelion soundtrack is it finishes way more concisely than the actual story does.
Oh yeah, it's very easy to understand. It's very easy to understand. And then of course, you know, this is a bit of a bummer just because of being stuck inside, but you know, it wasn't what we wanted to do, but we did celebrate our 1-year wedding anniversary, which is exciting this year. No parties, you know, that's just a bit of a bummer. It would have been cool to get everybody together.
We already celebrated it one time.
Yeah, one time's enough.
Twice, actually.
Yeah, twice. Back to back almost.
And boy, did we celebrate it. Yeah.
But we did, you know, we got some Cafe Central to go. They had a to-go thing at the time. I don't think they're doing it anymore. And we just enjoyed a delicious dinner at home and watched some movies. And it was nice. It's nice to... That is one thing, you know, selfishly, I know some people are out there working very hard during the virus. I'm lucky enough to be able to stay home for most of it. But just like, you know, getting to be inside, spending some quality time. And I'm a bit introverted. You know what I mean? It's kind of worked out in a weird way. Like, I don't feel bad about not going out because it's just not an option.
I miss people. I was like so excited to talk to customers again. Like I got a little weird there for a second.
I could keep this up for another like 5 or 6 years and I'd be fine, I think. What about you, Danny? You got any tough stuff of the year?
Oh yeah, those are some good dubs, by the way. Real good W's. I'm probably going to play a little bit off of it because we all kind of had the same year, you know. But
oh really? No,
it has been very difficult. I acknowledge that for other people, this has been probably the worst year of your lives, and I totally understand. And I sympathize with that. I just want to say what some of my personal W's were. Kind of goes off of yours, David. Working from home has been such a blessing. It's really interesting. I'm still able to do what I do virtually. And then, you know, the separate part of my job, which is mostly administrative, I'm able to do from home also, which like people at my administration didn't think was possible. So I think that's a huge plus for not only me, but for the world, and especially America in general, was just like realizing how much of people's jobs can be done from home now, which is like amazing. It's like you save on so many other things. It opens up the door for like how the workforce works now or can work from here on. And that was one of my big revelations of this year was just like, before this pandemic hit, before March or so, I was really quite busy. I was just like constantly getting out the door, having to drive all over the place, spending like 90 minutes in traffic here and there, all over the place. Obviously, I live in Los Angeles, but I remember thinking to myself before the shutdown happened, I just wish I could get a break.
That is so terrible. Is it a bit of a selfish thought? Yes, but at the same time, I think it's something everybody can relate to. And I think you're right, man. It's like a learning experience. I think things will go back to normal, but there's some stuff from the coronavirus and from lockdown life that we're going to keep just from a practical standpoint.
Yeah. And I mean, the less people working in offices, the less people will have the opportunity to
Committing
warm up
suicide.
fish in the break room microwave.
Oh, that's fair.
That too. Well, and I feel like it'll just help people, like you said, David, that are introverted and, working at home. And why even have an office at some points? You know what I mean? It saves time. It saves money. It saves, the environment from having to everyone in the office having to drive to one place, But so that was a big W for me. And I hope it continues. I'm really enjoying working from home. I think it's fantastic.
Plus, it's hilarious when you're on the phone with a customer service person and you hear their kids just losing it in the background.
Oh, that's so funny.
They're like, I'm sorry. And you're like, you got it, dude.
That's one thing to point out. We're all childless men, which is, if one of us had a kid, this might be a very different take.
Yeah, I do not envy the people who became parents and that were parents through this pandemic. Hats off to you. Mm-hmm. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm not going to do that. But that kind of leads into my second W, which is kind of playing off of you guys also. David, very glad you did not die from COVID. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, for reals.
It's too late now. Now it just seems like kissing up, man.
Man, it wasn't on record, but I know for sure I specifically told you, hey, man, I'm real glad you didn't die.
Yeah, after you claimed all my stuff. I
didn't claim any of your stuff. Again, just your soul as my slave in the afterlife. That's all I wanted.
To be fair,
That's not a lot.
I did already give my soul to liquid death for that free case of water. So...
Well,
you have to talk to them.
You win some, you lose some. And if we learn from Bedazzle, like your soul wasn't yours to give, it was already liquid deaths.
Because it's hard to say what it is I see. That's a different song, sorry.
But that goes into saying, like, at one point, a couple months ago, actually, things got really bad as far as COVID goes. And I'm very glad that my entire family had it at one point. There was not someone who wasn't close to me that had it. A lot of my friends had it, and then my mother had it, my father, my stepfather. They all had it. And so that was a very stressful couple months, but everyone recovered, I'm glad to say. And everyone is doing better. So that is probably the biggest W of the year for me, not losing a loved one. Although I am very sorry for anyone that's listening to this that did lose
yes,
a loved one.
Very important footnote. We are not gloating. We are very sorry for your losses.
Yeah, trying to be thankful, but we have to acknowledge that it's affected so many people. So hopefully, I mean, the one thing for sure that I do believe, I know I was being a little pessimistic on Biden. I think that it's going to be nice to have someone who's more competent in charge of this thing, especially because it's going to stick around for a little while longer. So
yeah, at least we have a politician holding political office.
Yeah,
we don't have
it's
we don't
good
have
to
a
not
guy
have
who
a
runs
child
a fake university.
in the highest office of the land.
Yeah, exactly.
And this whole just this last since November 3rd has just been such a wake up call for everyone. Just like, wow, this man has the nuclear codes. This man has been in charge of everything, and it's taking so long, just like a parasite, to get off. And I don't even think we'll successfully get rid of it.
Well, it's just would get into a whole nother tangent, but Americans are so dumb that we're still not going to take the vaccine. You know what I mean? It's like, what is it going to take, everybody?
Yeah, this is the next challenge for sure.
Yeah.
People were ranting about vaccines before there was a deadly virus, so...
Dude, and this thing's a two-step process. You telling me you're going to get Americans to show up not once, but twice for a vaccine? We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
It's not going to go well. That's how it's going to go. So get used to working from home.
Yeah, I like working from home. I think it's going to continue. And another part of my year, I guess as it rolls into the next year, the end of this year, is coming back home to EP.
The boys will be back in town.
Yeah.
No more Zoom lag.
That'll be nice.
Ooh, high quality content coming at you 2021.
Crisp.
Gonna be
1080.
fantastic.
Like visually and audio wise,
yeah.
it will still be just as uninformed as always.
Yeah, true.
Absolutely. We are the uninformed.
You got to stick to your brand.
But yeah, I mean, as far as just a small W before we transition to the next one is, I just wanted to say a big win was reformatting the podcast, y'all. We turned it into something so formatted and clean and categorized.
Easier to
explain
explain
and it's a brand.
and pitch.
Yeah, that's your own. That's our own horns you're hearing tooting right now.
Toot,
But
toot.
I agree, man. I'm really liking this flow. I like being movie centric. Feels like we have a little more of a definable identity. And it's been a good time. It's nice also having Danny on board, full time beans here on the show.
We are. And so what's next, boys? What are we transitioning to?
Well, up next, I have for you all.
You know what? One last big shout out.
Up
One
next.
last toot of our horns.
Okay.
Apparently, we made it to the top 30 film podcasts in Sweden. So,
Oh, yeah.
shout out to
Oh.
you, Sweden. Apparently, you're out there listening.
That's right.
We love you. Let us know if we can stay at your house, and we'll head over there.
Yeah, for sure.
I actually prepared for this. I wanted to say in Swedish, taxa mycket.
They've all left.
What is
That
that?
means
Like
thank you
milk
very
me?
much.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, how lovely.
That's
how
nicer
lovely.
than milk me for sure.
We appreciate that. Small stepping stone and many more to come. So, gentlemen, what better way to tackle this year in review podcast but with a game? Now, I'm going to be honest. I played through this game with Michelle. She thought it was a little too difficult and that maybe I should give you guys a list. But for this first round, we're going no lists. Okay.
Love it.
Here's what's going on. And you can't be Googling anything or looking at your phone or anything like that. Okay. I'm an online teacher. I know what you're doing. Danny, put that phone down. Anyway, so what we're doing is I've assembled a list of taglines. And these are all taglines for movies that we've covered either in a character limit exceeded or in a podcast episode. And
This is gonna be hard at their doppelganger flicks.
well, there are a couple in here.
Oh, boy.
I'll give you that. So, I have 3 rounds for you: an easy round, a medium round, a hard round, and I even have a couple of mega hard examples
We have
in
an
case.
S-class round.
Yeah, exactly. It's very short, but so here's how it's going to work. One of you is going to go first. If you get it wrong, the other guy gets a chance to steal, and then we pass it back and forth. And let's see who can win the year in tagline game.
Solid, smooth.
So we have to guess the tagline from the movie you're giving us?
You have to guess the movie from the tagline I read you. Okay, so Danny, why don't you call it heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
Tails. It did not fail. So Danny goes first.
Poop.
Here's your first tagline. This is the easy round. These are worth 1 point each.
Oh wow, you've put some thought into this. Very exciting.
It's tiered. And feel free to play along at home. Danny, your tagline is man is the warmest place to hide.
It's not Contagion, but it's the other one we watched. It's the Dustin Hoffman one. I think it's Outbreak.
We did not watch Outbreak for the podcast.
Do I get a chance to steal now?
He does, though. Frank, chance to steal?
Is it The Thing?
It is The Thing.
What is The Thing?
Okay, perfect.
How did I not know that?
Yeah, sorry, Danny. We kick it over to Frank now. You start this next round. It's scrumdiddlyumptious.
Ooh, now this is a little bit difficult because I need to guess
Flubber.
the right one. Flubber. Oh, Robin Williams, you'll be greatly missed.
Not for that.
Man, we
movie.
did a lot of Robin Williams this year
did.
and not enough at the same time.
Yeah, we need more.
I'm going to go ahead and go with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Frank's 2 for 2. It is Willy Wonka.
It was a 50-50 on that one, I'll be honest.
Okay, we're kicking it back to Danny. Here's your next tagline. Put on a happy face.
Joker?
The man is correct. It is Joker. Very nice.
That's
yeah.
a good tagline for
That
Joker.
is a good tagline. Okay, this one goes to Frank. After a night they can't remember, comes a day they'll never forget.
Did we talk about The Hangover?
I thought
Is it
about
The Hangover?
It is not The Hangover. No, we did not talk about it.
That's probably why I was so confused.
Danny, we kick it to you. I'll say it one more time. After a night they can't remember comes a day they'll never forget.
Oh my God, I'm an idiot.
Cabin Fever.
No, do I get one more shot?
I think the point goes to me. I'm making this rule
Because it's Dude, Where's My Car?
It is Dude,
Yeah.
Where's My Car?
Oh my God.
Okay, so unfortunately, no points there. The house takes a point. Okay, and this is Frank's now. This is the last of the easy round. This ain't no game.
It's the Mario Bros movie.
It is the Mario Bros. Movie. Wow. Okay. So Frank has 3. Danny has 1. And since Frank is ahead, we'll go ahead and let Danny open up round 2. This is the medium difficulty. These are worth 2 points each.
Hopefully we do the medium well. Shout out to George and his gross steak orders.
Yeah, you got to get medium rare going in the house. Okay. Danny, your tagline is, "The days are numbered."
Days are numbered. Deep Impact?
It is not Deep Impact. Frank, do you have an answer?
Is it? Is it Armageddon?
It is not Armageddon.
Damn it.
You guys are going to feel really dumb about this one. It is 28 Days Later. The days are numbered. Shout out to our zombie movie quest episode.
Oh, that makes sense. Gotcha.
It was on Danny's list and my list. Although most of these are not from a podcast episode like that. Like, let me look really quick. I think, oh yeah. Well, yeah, the rest of these have their own episode. They are completely their own episode. Okay. Medium round, passing to Frank. Your tagline is, "They're extremely intelligent, highly evolved, and they don't like sharing the planet."
I'm trying to think of the Alien movies we talked about this year.
They're extremely intelligent, highly evolved, and they don't like sharing the planet.
Is it? I still have no guess. I was hoping I could force something there. You know what? I got nothing. And in the spirit of conserving time for the family, I defer to Danny in the hopes that he won't get it and the house will get the points.
I'm not doing too hot at this one. Can you give me it one more time? Can you use it in a sentence?
They're extremely intelligent, highly evolved, and they don't like sharing the planet.
I don't know if we.
I'll give you guys both a hint. It's the first movie we reviewed in 2020.
Man, that was like 3 years ago.
In 2020, it wasn't. What's it called? A Quiet Place? It's not A Quiet Place.
No, it's not. It is Rain of Fire, everybody. Rain of Fire.
I forgot about Rain of Fire.
I was thinking
Dragons.
aliens and it was dragons.
Okay,
I
this one's
wasn't on
Danny's.
that one.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Some of these are before Danny's time.
That's what you get for not being a super
Yeah,
fan.
that's what you get for making us do these episodes with Brandon. Okay, so the next thing we got for you. Tomorrow, millions of people will curse me, but fate has taken its course. This one's for Daniel.
Tomorrow, millions of people will curse me, but fate has taken its course.
Yeah.
The Devil's Advocate?
It is not the Devil's Advocate.
Is it? So this movie had its own episode, so it was probably a CLE.
Tomorrow, millions of people will curse me, but fate has taken its course.
Is it son-in-law? No.
Oh, God. The answer for this one is Downfall, everybody.
Wow, man.
Okay. This goes back to Danny here. No, I'm sorry. This one's for Frank, because that one started with Danny. Frank, what would you do if they destroyed your home, threatened your family?
And I feel like that's a line from the movie.
It is not.
What would you do if they destroyed your home and threatened your family?
Yeah.
Destroyed your home and threatened your family. Is it? David's giving me no clues with his eyes.
The only clue I'll give you here is that in the movie, yes, they destroy the home.
And yes, they threaten his family.
They go a little bit further.
I'm going to go ahead and guess. Oh, come on, Frank. You can do this. I'm going to guess. I am going to guess. Yeah, I mean, I got nothing. I'm just going to say a movie at this point. I'm going to have to defer again. I got nothing.
Danny, you got a guess here?
Throw it at me one more time.
What would you do if they destroyed your home, threatened your family?
Destroyed your home and threatened your family. Man, I'm just drawing a blank also, but hold on, I'm just gonna make a wild guess. The Patriot.
It is the Patriot.
Man, I forgot we did the
the
Patriot this year.
Patriot.
That was our 4th of July this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you know what's funny? These are just 2 taglines I found while making this list. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of vengeance. Doesn't that sound
That's
like
a
it
good
could
one.
be for the Patriot?
Yeah, 100%.
That's for Django. Huh. Or how about this one? How far would you go for the American dream? Doesn't that sound like the Patriot too? That's
is.
Nightcrawler.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was kind of funny. Okay. Let's see. This is now yours, Danny. Here's your chance. You guys are tied 3-3 right now.
Oh, no.
Danny, some people are just born to be buried.
Like B-U-R-I-E-D?
B-U-R-I-E-D. Yeah. Buried and under the dirt.
Some people are born to be buried. I wonder if this is from the Zombie Quest episode. Wait, no, the rest of these are just, they have their own episode, right?
Yeah, they're standalones.
They're standalones.
Some people are born to be buried. I don't know, man. I'm drawing a blank.
Frank, do you have a... Oh, wait. Do you have a
go
guess,
ahead.
Danny?
I defer.
Okay, chance to steal. Some people are just born to be buried.
Trying to think of the more brutal films we did this year.
I'll give you a hint, and if either one of you get it, you can just chime in.
That's fair.
All right.
We
Is it the
talked
devil
about
all
it
the time?
this episode. It is the devil all the time. Very nice.
Yes.
It's the devil all the time, and even that is like kind of a scary.
Yeah,
scary
you would read that tagline and assume it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
it's
thought it was like a
not.
zombie one.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're now in hard mode round. Okay. Do you want to
Oh,
be
now
able,
it's hard.
Yeah. Do you want to be able to look at your computer? Do you think that'd be more fair to look through the list of movies, or should we just go
Nah.
for
I
the
don't know.
gusto? Okay.
Yeah, let's go no list because we should remember the movies that, and I say we should because I don't. We should remember the movies that we reviewed this year.
Okay. Remember the dead, and the dead remember you. This one goes to Frank.
This one is Ghost. No. Remember the dead, and the dead will remember you is the tagline for. I'm trying to think of what we did in October.
Yeah.
But even
gonna
October
be
seems
somewhere
like
around
so
there.
long ago.
Do you guys want a hint?
Well, this one's coming to me,
Yeah,
like
this
on the
is to
first
you
one.
first,
Well,
yeah.
Danny, do you have a guess? I should defer to you before we get the hint.
Is it The Conjuring?
It is not.
That's a good guess.
Your hint for both of you, and again, we're changing the rules a bit. Just whoever gets it first, you feel free to chime in. It's a part of our spooky content. It was an October release.
October release.
It was an October release.
Had a feeling.
Is it Sleepaway Camp?
Mm-mm.
Is it?
Ah.
Final guess. What else did we do? I don't even know, man. Damn it. I think the house is going to get this one again, man.
The Music Box, ladies and gentlemen. Remember
Oh,
the dead
I
and the
should
dead
know
remember
that.
you.
My apologies, Ryan. My apologies. But at least I didn't work on the film.
I had to send him yeah, I know, right? I had to send him a message today. Hey, do you have a tagline for the Music Box? He's like, yeah, man, of course. Okay, this one goes to Danny first. An epic of epicness.
An epic of epicness. Oh, what are some of the dumber movies we did this year? It's definitely a
That's
dumb
a tough
movie
one. We hit
tagline.
some dumbins.
It sounds like it's a dumb movie, like a Dude, Where's My Car kind of thing, but it's not necessarily a dumb movie.
Hmm.
Ooh, that might change
So-
the guess I had queued up.
It's the epic of epic. What?
The
epic
epic of epicness.
Gladiator.
Is it Bill and Ted Face the Music?
It is not.
Damn it.
I'll give you the second tagline. Get the hot girl.
Is it Weird Science?
No.
Dude, where's my car?
The third tagline for this one. Defeat her evil exes.
Scott
versus the
Pilgrim.
World.
Oh, I think Frank got it first, although there might be a little bit of lag. That's
Yeah.
kind of hard.
I think we should give that one to the house.
Okay.
You gave us way too much
Yeah, I
for
gave you
that
too
one.
much hints. Okay. That's fair. This one goes to Frank.
How many points does the house have right now?
I stopped keeping track.
Thank you.
The house is winning by far. Okay. This one goes to Frank. We got 3 left, and the score here is Danny 5, Frank 3. Anyone's game here. Frank, your tagline is "Lose Yourself." And no, it's not 8 Mile.
Yes. The 8 Mile movie review that we canned.
We all wrapped our review, and it was too cringy to release.
It came out exactly how you would imagine.
Yeah.
That's actually why I got the new MacBook. I just burned the old MacBook that we recorded that on.
This is no longer safe.
Lose yourself.
Lose yourself.
Lose yourself. And this is a CLE. This is a standalone. That's the only thing we do standalones.
I'll
for,
give you
right?
that.
Okay, it's a CLE.
It's a CLE.
You viewer at home who hasn't even listened to this yet, psychically send me the answer to my brain.
Yeah, it's not going to work that way.
All time happens like at the same time. You know what I mean? According to a friend's acid trip that he wouldn't shut up about one night. No matter how many times I asked him to.
Were you talking to yourself or what?
Memory's weird, you know? Damn it. I don't want to defer it because it's my only chance to win. I'm like, I feel it. I feel
Well,
it. So, I
there's
feel the
3
tension
more.
so
You
hard.
still have a
There's
chance to
3
win.
more.
There's 3 more.
I don't
Yeah,
know why
this
I
isn't
thought
the
it was the
last
last one. So wild guess for Lose Yourself. I'm going to go with I got nothing. Defer.
Danny?
Is it Inception?
It is not Inception.
Ah,
Okay, here's your hint, everyone. You know, in order to get lost, you got to go somewhere. You know what I mean? It's a movie about going places.
Is it Into the Wild?
It is Into the Wild. It
that's
is Into
another
the
one I
Wild.
wasn't on.
Oh, you weren't on for Into the Wild? Okay.
I was
sorry.
not.
I'm so sorry, Danny. Okay, let
Oh,
me see.
wait.
Let me see if you were around.
Yeah,
for these
I
last-
was on Into the Wild. I take that
That's
back.
a really good movie about not being prepared enough.
For real.
About arrogance.
Okay, so Frank is ahead by 1 point. The next one goes to Danny. Evil loves innocence.
Bedazzled?
No, it's not Bedazzled.
Is this one The Conjuring?
This one is The Conjuring.
Yeah, dude.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Danny missed out on like his big movies. I'm so sorry, Danny. So it's now like, you know, typically like it's theoretically impossible for Danny to win unless we just
Yeah.
make this last one worth 5 points.
I mean, I feel like the last one should be the decider. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, let's see. Let's see who gets the answer first. All right, I'm going to read it. Let's see who gets the answer first. Earth, it was fun while it lasted.
Armageddon?
It's Armageddon.
Is it Armageddon? Yeah.
I should have just chosen one. I was like, which one is it? Which one is it?
I know.
So we gotta give it to Danny, our champ here.
Oh, Frank, you're too nice.
I'm just glad that as uninformed movie reviewers, we did exactly how we should have on this quiz.
Quite uninformed.
Yeah, this is tough. I have two that I put under mega hard. One of them is "Look out, everybody." That's the tagline for Curly Sue.
Oh God!
What a weird tagline.
And the other one is "We all know one."
Uncle Buck?
Idiocracy?
Train wreck.
Oh, I forgot.
Remember when we watched that movie?
Yeah, I tried to erase that from my.
Which one was
memory.
Trainwreck?
It's the Judd Apatow movie with what's her name?
Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
Amy Schumer. Thank you.
Yeah, I forgot we did that.
Yeah, see, that's why I didn't include it. Okay, so that wraps up the game here. Very nice, gentlemen. My hat's off to you. I guess that takes us over to Character Limit Extended.
Yeah.
The movie review segment where we talk just a little bit more about the movie we talked just a little bit about a week ago.
There we go.
Yeah.
Today's is Jingle All the Way.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Reason for the
This is great,
season.
man.
We're jangling. I just want to start off by saying Phil Hartman is my favorite part of this movie. I love his portrayal of Ted, the dad who, it takes a lot to be the kind of guy who's going to try and take Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife. It takes a certain kind of person, someone who doesn't care about their personal well-being.
Dude, and the funniest thing about Phil Hartman's characters is like apparently he's just like banging all the single moms in this city. You know what I mean? Like he's got ladies bringing them cookies, trying to get like their gutters cleaned out, if you know what I mean. Wow. Take all the leaves out of the gutters so like the rainwaters can.
You know what I noticed on my last watch of this movie? So the scene where they're like getting to the parade. Phil Hartman is in the car with Liz, Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife, and then the two kids are in the back. And as they're getting close, his son is like, "Hey, Dad, can we get out early while you guys go park the car?" And I'm like, he's trained his kid to be part of this scheme.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. He's wingman.
Wow.
Fun fact, that chubby little white kid, last name, De La Pena.
There you go. There you go. That guy does not look Hispanic, but I won't judge.
That's Tom Hanks' wife, right?
It is. Rita Hanks now, I guess. But she had a different name at the time. I'm not sure what it is.
I mean, I agree. Phil Hartman was one of the best parts of this rewatch. Absolutely. And I don't think I appreciated it as much when I was a kid, but once I came back to it and I like kind of understood what was going on in the movie more, this movie's amazing. This is one of my favorite rewatches every season. It is just such a banger.
Yeah, I think
you're right.
For
though.
me,
He's got.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Ted's got to have some balls,
dude.
to go
like,
after.
Giant metal clangers, like my goodness. For me, like Jingle All the Way, if not the pinnacle, like right up there as like quality schlocky family films. Like it hits all the like terrible notes. You definitely need like a suspension of disbelief because it's like in a movie universe, you know what I mean? Like it's very much the laws of the world don't really like play here. But that being said, like every year it must be watched in December, you know what I mean? Look forward to it every year.
I think watching it again kind of brought back, well, it just kind of like made me realize a different part of this movie that obviously was probably there from the beginning. I just didn't realize. It's just like, it made me feel how gross like materialism was in the 90s. But then, you know what I mean? But then it's also just like, man, like Jake Lloyd is a terrible kid. And and Arnold Schwarzenegger is also a really bad father. It's like he's working because obviously he's working his ass off for him, for the family. But like the kid just like doesn't think his dad cares about him because he doesn't have a toy. And
yeah, well, and also,
I mean, and his dad didn't show up for like any of his important life events.
Yeah, there's a bit of the abandonment stuff. And I said this a long time ago when we covered this movie for Movie Quest, but I just can't get over the fact that somewhere George Lucas watched this movie, like, while casting, like, because it was in 97, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
George Lucas, like, sees this movie with his family, and he's like, this kid's my Darth Vader. Where have I found this talent at?
Yeah, how do you have an acting performance like that on your resume and then get hired for such a huge role?
For, like,
Because Jake Lloyd doesn't do a good job.
he doesn't.
No.
He's terrible.
Like his reactions, there's one when the boys get to the parade, they're standing there and his little chubby friend's like, "Hey, Cat in the Hat," and then they both go, "Yeah," and do this super lame high five. It's so cringy.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And then you got him, like, in Phantom Menace going, like, yippee, like, he literally says yippee out loud. Wow. So awful. I think,
But
to be fair, this
nonetheless,
movie's...
the slapstick in this movie is amazing. I have to say.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah. I
Just
think
like the
it's-
Santa fight.
the Santa fight, that's classic. I mean, it's on the verge of being very offensive for some parts, but it's lovely. It's lovely. Like, they almost make jokes about little people, you know what I mean? But they don't. They don't go all the way
I don't
there.
think the joke was about a little person. I think the joke was just like that huge dude felt really bad about hitting his little friend. He's like really sad. He's like, "Little
Yeah, but
buddy."
like when he punches him and he flies across the room, you know what I mean?
Well, like
that's
it's
the part I'm talking
it's a
about.
physicality thing because he just punched Arnold Schwarzenegger and
Yeah.
sent him flying into the tables.
That's
Realistically,
true, too.
from the same laws of physics, if he punched that little person with the same amount of strength, he would fly across the room.
And it's very cartoony.
Yeah,
Like,
very cartoony.
There's a lot of that, like of the bomb exploding and his face being like covered instead of
Yeah.
like, it's like, oh
And,
man, Sinbad
Arnold
just killed
Schwarzenegger
a
not
bunch of
like
cops.
creaming his head into like cranberry sauce on the side of the building with his jetpack just like slams him
Legit.
into
Or like
it.
at the very least, like breaking his neck and becoming a paraplegic.
Yeah.
Or like this dude with this huge dude with this heavy Austrian accent playing an everyday American father who also is able to fly a very complicated jetpack with no experience.
and not even to bring up like, what is the jetpack for? Like, you're on a parade float. Why do we need a jetpack?
All you had to do is this.
Yeah, you just had to wave and then pick a kid.
And then when he does pick Jake Lloyd, he also goes up to him like, "I want you to be the kid that I gave this action figure to." It's just like, I wish my dad was here.
Oh, this must be just some other Austrian guy.
Good stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, a great watch. I mean, I feel like it's a bit nostalgia driven. Like, if you didn't grow up in the 90s, it probably doesn't mean as much to you, or really just like it won't really make any sense. Like,
Yeah.
if you're younger than like, 20, I feel like it might have a hard time relating to it. But it's great. And you know what else? The soundtrack. They picked the right Christmas tunes, man. It's a good watch for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I watched the extended cut for the first time today.
There's an extended cut?
It's
Yeah.
dope. There's like a Santa song and dance number. Probably the best thing Jim Belushi's ever done.
Yeah. It's a high point of his career, and they cut it out of the movie for time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check out our review. It's up now, and watch Jingle All the Way. It's just it's never a bad decision. Well, I guess it's time for that one segment.
Oh, that's interesting. Our current event topic, for those of you unfamiliar with the segment, I guess.
What's that word?
I was trying to think of a different word and it wasn't going to come. So,
Frank,
You
you
gotta do what
mentally
you gotta
checked
do.
out until January 1st, man. You're just waiting.
man, I'm getting ready to turn 30 and I think my life force is starting to deplete. I think
My
either that or I'm
life-
just tired.
My life force is fading.
I need some more of that elfin bread. Today, coming from bloodydisgusting.com, Robert Eggers has wrapped production on his Viking revenge film, The Northman. My goodness. So excited. Words can't describe how excited I am to see
Cue
this.
our Swedish
hopefully.
black metal from our Swedish fans. Give us some of that for this.
I'll have to find something edited in there later. Didn't have it loaded up on the Akai.
Royalty-free Swedish black metal.
Based on the strength of both The Vivitch and The Lighthouse, the next movie from Robert Eggers has inherently become one of the most hotly anticipated genre movies on the radar. And what we know so far is that it's Viking revenge film titled The Northman. What else do we know? In the wake of COVID-related delays, production on the film has now wrapped. They just got to edit that bad boy. How very exciting. Out of all, like, to be robbed of movie release after movie release after movie release, it's nice to get another win. IndieWire reported that the news over the weekend, with the site also noting that the new Regency and Focus Features co-production will be released by Focus Features here in the States. A release date at this time has not been set. Ensemble cast includes Alexander Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman, Anya Taylor-Joy, Ethan Hawke, Claes Bang, Kate Dickie, Bjork, and Willem Dafoe. Like,
That's awesome.
yeah, man. And like, if I love a revenge movie, you know what I mean? I can only imagine how brutal a Viking revenge movie can be, man. This is some of the most brutal people that have ever walked the earth. Like,
And they turn into such pleasant people now.
yeah, right. It's funny how that goes around.
You ever been to Minnesota?
Rubber banding. The cast sounds great. I think I read something about Bjork being like some sort of like a witch. You know what I mean? Some kind of like sorcerer.
I could see that.
So there's going to
Definitely.
be a little bit of a magic in the tale, which I'm assuming is going to kind of tie into like Norse mythology.
Norse mythology is really dope as long as you don't get too into the parts that racists use to like build their claims.
Yeah, ignore the racist parts.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice, man. I hope theaters are open by the time this comes out. It'd be nice to see it in a big old theater.
This would be one to watch on the big screen for sure.
For sure.
I mean, if not, we'll probably all be together. We can set up like the projector. I'll rent some like big ol' speakers. You know what I mean? We'll like make our own. If
we
it comes down to
should.
it, like we'll make it happen. I will like rent some gear because very excited for this release.
That's a great idea.
And we
am.
this might be the first movie I cosplay for. Just all drunk on mead.
We got to remember that for the filmed review that we do.
Oh, yeah.
Danny Frank's got to show up fully Viking.
Fully Viking. I'll dye my eyes blue. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot of other news except for prepare yourself because brutality
Yeah, that's some big old
is
news,
coming.
man. I've been craving another Robert Eggers pick, man. Dude's just like piqued our interest. Him and Ari Aster, they're just like, here's my banger of a first movie, and here's my banger of a second movie. Now you gotta wait.
Come back for the third.
Yeah,
And we will.
just waiting
We
for
will,
it.
gentlemen.
Oh, that's nice. And you know what? Quite interesting. I'm excited to see what comes out. And, you know, of course, we'll talk about it once it happens. And then we'll do our Robert Eggers ranking of 3 movies.
Our shortest ranking episode ever.
That sounds okay.
Sounds nice.
That's really nice, actually.
Sounds better than 11 films.
Jeez, yeah. Okay, well, guys, I think, we've had a juicy episode here. Let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy up with a good old Peeps and Predicts, the segment where we talk about 2 people or parties of people, real or fictional, and put them in scenarios that we debate about. And here's who we have for today. Johnny Depp versus Gene Wilder. It's a battle.
Oh,
Battle
man.
of the Willies.
I was going to go Wonkas, but I like that.
Yeah, it sounded more
Bust
fun.
out your
like a
Willies.
sword fight.
Here, let me grab this first one, and then I'll pass the jar to you here, Franklin. Our first predicament of the day is... who's winning the round of The Floor is Lava? And I'd like to start off... Gene Wilder's dead and buried. He's in the floor. So, yeah.
Are we talking about right now or when Gene Wilder was alive?
Yeah, I would have to go with right now because they are not characters.
That's true. These are people.
Okay.
Although, to be fair, maybe
Well-
we should argue, because then all of these are just going to turn into, well, Gene
he's
Wilder's dead.
Yeah, that is a good point.
So let's argue this like they're two people.
Well, they were.
So I will say that I feel like Gene Wilder has a little bit more of a playful spirit, a little bit more of like that childlike nature that you really need to commit to the ground is lava. Because without convincing yourself that the ground is actually lava, the stakes aren't real and you can't deliver your best performance. Johnny Depp, while being a very immersive actor, I don't think he has quite the childlike nature. And he's got some like really terrible stuff going on right now. It's probably be very distracting.
I was going to say, just the Wonka movies kind of demonstrate that point. One of them is fun. One of them is painful.
I'm obviously on the side of Gene Wilder because I like Gene Wilder more than Johnny Depp. But I would say to argue that Johnny Depp has done much more stunt work throughout his entire career. A very lively person, especially if you look at like all the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. You know, one
That's a
could
fair
argue
point.
that he knows a bit about avoiding lava, maybe.
That's true. You know, I'm trying to think though, like, does Jack Sparrow really like jump around that much though? Or is he mostly just like grabbing a rope and then like cutting another rope and like lifting up in the air? Mary
Nah, he
Poppins
does like
style?
a decent jumping him around, especially when he's running away from that like cannibal tribe.
That's right.
There's like a whole like parkour thing going on
I
there.
forgot about that. Well, you know what?
Parkour.
Gene Wilder does do that sweet roll in Willy Wonka.
But that's really
But he
that's
would
less
roll
like
right into
that's
the
like
lava.
tumbling. Yeah, you can't roll through lava. You got to jump over it.
Okay, let's give it
There's
to our
no
boy
like
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Bloodborne like Dark Souls roll going on that's going to avoid.
I can't take damage while I'm rolling. Okay.
Our second predict: who could better wrap the awkwardly shaped Christmas present? So not your square, but like that weird plastic package you get with the extra fin, and it's not quite lined up right. That you always get for like one of your sister's kids, and keep ripping that damn paper every time you try to get those corners. Who's gonna
Gene
pull it
Wilder.
off?
Gene Wilder. And I would
What,
say
because the Candyman
because I'm just going to say based on age and possible experience, like let's say that Gene Wilder did wrap presents at all in his entire life. Like I think that back in the day, especially in like old Christmas from like 50s to the 70s or something like that.
Christmases
used to
of
wrap-
yore.
Yeah, Christmas is of yore. Nice timely plug there. You know, they used to wrap things all out. Like they used to make gifts huge and extravagantly wrapped and
Yeah.
stuff, you know,
That's
like
true.
big bows and maybe even like ribbons and bows and like utensils on gifts and stuff. I don't know. Maybe he's from a time before and knows a few tricks.
And adding on to that same point, I think Gene Wilder's celebrity is from a time that was a little less exuberant than today's celebrity. I can't imagine like Johnny Depp does a lot of his own stuff like that.
I was thinking the same thing. I can't, like, Johnny Depp has been so popular for so much of his life. I don't think he wraps presents. He,
Like since he was like a teen, you know what I mean?
he like gets someone to go out and pick up the present and wrap it, and then he just like gives it to somebody.
And even nowadays, he probably doesn't even spend the $5.99 on an Amazon to like get it in a gift bag when he's sending it to someone, you know?
That's where Amazon gets you, man. The
And they look
$5.99
bad.
gift bag.
I don't do that.
They do look bad.
I like send it to my family member and I'm like, all right, don't open it, but wrap that box because I'm not paying. They sent me one of those gift bags like that they paid $5.99 for from Amazon, and I like didn't look inside, but I like grabbed it and I was like, this looks terrible.
What is this?
So yeah, it looks like a sock. So don't pay $5.99 for a sock.
Fair. Yeah,
Fair
I think
point.
this round goes to Mr.
Gene.
Wilder.
All right, so we tied over here, 1-1. Let's get the good old tiebreaker in here.
Danny, would you like to pick the last predict? Wait, let me. Hold on. The mirror. There we go.
Let's pick from your left hand.
Our tiebreaker for today's round of Peeps and Predicts to get us into the final round, we'll face the one true champion. Who's the last body? Who's the last?
Okay, let me
Whose
see.
handwriting is it? Whose handwriting is it?
Who's least likely to take the vaccine?
Johnny Depp for sure.
You think so?
I mean,
well,
like-
he seems
oh.
like he could be a little more new age and like.
Yeah. Because I'm sure he's probably hung out with Gwyneth Paltrow, and it's not far out of the question for him to be an anti-vaxxer. Like, if someone
Damn, did
came
you
up
guys
and
see
told me
that?
Johnny Depp is an anti-vaxxer, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
If someone told me Gene Wilder's an anti-vaxxer, I would be more shocked.
I guess that's a good point. Anyone who wears hats like Johnny Depp is a pretty good chance of being an anti-vaxxer. That's a fact. That's a cold hard fact. And if he's a gooper, then yeah, I could see that for sure. If he's gooping, then yeah, I could see him being an anti-vaxxer.
What's
Are you
hilarious
Googling
is
this,
I didn't
Frank?
even
Yeah, I'm trying to
know
find
that-
some information on Johnny Depp.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that Gwyneth Paltrow's store was called Goop, and I heard someone reference it the other day, and I was like, "That's a funny word." And I had to like check it out, and I was like, "She's got like socks on there for like $80 and stuff. It's some weird stuff."
Yeah, she's got various candles of various scents, some that are quite inappropriate.
So I'm.
From various
Did you guys happen to
crevices.
see that? Did you guys happen to see that quote from Gwyneth Paltrow in response to like some criticism of her, where she was just like, "I can't pretend to be somebody I'm not. Like, if I was pretending to be a poor person, it would be disingenuous."
Wow.
Well, I was trying to find some information on Johnny Depp being an anti-vaxxer, and while I found none, I am finding an article that Johnny Depp had to remove his dogs from Australia because he didn't get their rabies vaccines.
Ooh.
But to be fair,
What
I
a
didn't
rich
search on
people
Gene Wilder
problem.
at all. Yeah,
What a
right.
Rich people problem. Okay, take the dogs back to the yacht while we're hanging out on Australia.
Yeah, was he not in Australia? Is it one of his many houses with one of his many dogs
right.
around the world? Who's
It's like-
taking care of those dogs?
Okay, send 3 of my assistants to take the dogs back to Los Angeles. I'll see them in the morning.
He's probably like,
I think-
has he only seen these dogs once in his life?
I think if Gene Wilder was alive right now, he would be more likely to get the vaccine because of his age. Like
Yeah.
there would be concern over his safety.
And let's just be honest, like these older people, you know, not as many anti-vaxxers. Maybe some of them are, to be fair, but you know, you grow up in a time where like polio's a thing. You're taking the vaccine.
Yeah, for reals.
Yeah, you're not being an idiot about it.
From a time
Which will
when
be
you could
like
die
the
from
next
the pox.
generation, you know?
The pox, yeah. I lost my brother to the pox. Yes, I'll take the vaccine.
Oh, yes. And my other brother died of a fever.
I miss Johnny. Okay.
He died from severe diarrhea.
Yeah, it was something that used to happen, you know?
So which one? Wait, let me make sure I read this correctly. Is it least likely?
At least like, oh, yeah. So Johnny
So
Depp would
Johnny
take the
Depp
win.
wins today, which means that we got Johnny Depp v. Brendan Fraser, our reigning champion, and our last predicament of the day, everybody. Who would successfully undermine an election?
Well, let's be honest. Brendan Fraser would never undermine an election.
No,
I don't
the
think
man
he
has
would.
character.
I'm not saying that Johnny Depp would, but I think he'd be far more likely to.
Okay, let's not make this a thing about likeliness, but instead, both men have been tasked with undermining an election, whether that is, you know, ethical or not.
Well,
Who's going to pull it off?
I think just judging from the projection of their careers, who's more likely to pull it off?
Yeah,
Oh, crap.
it's probably Johnny Depp.
Probably Johnny Depp. This is not how I wanted this to go.
No.
But
No.
probably Johnny Depp, man.
He-
No, wait.
Oh,
Johnny Depp's career is booming right now, which means, and he's got this like really crazy personal stuff going on.
I
He's
was
probably
going to
gonna be
say,
a
I
little
don't
bit
think
distracted.
I don't think his career is booming because of the personal stuff he has going on right
yeah. If anything, he's like lost a really big gig.
Yeah, he lost a really big gig, but he's also got all this stuff going on and he's got to worry about. I think that would be distracting while trying to do something so complicated as undermining an election. On the flip side, Brendan Fraser's had a lot of free time for a while now.
Okay. Okay.
In that time, you know, you learn a lot of hobbies and skills. One of those things may be coding. I don't know if Brendan Fraser's into coding. I don't know that he's not. I think he might be able to pull it off just because he's got more time on his hands and less distractions.
That's fair. And you know, I got to say for Brendan, as far as elections go, people trust him. You know what I mean?
I was just gonna say, if Brendan Fraser knowingly was telling a lie about what happened, I would at face value trust everything he said. I wouldn't have a reason. You know what I mean?
That's good to know. If we ever need to convince you of something crazy, we'll just have to get Brendan Fraser involved.
See if he's on Cameo, you know, have him send me a message. I'll probably believe it.
Yeah, that's really my one argument that I have right now. That Brendan Fraser has less distractions and just a little bit more time. Although he probably can't spend as much time sitting in an office chair as Johnny Depp can. He's got a bad back. Unless he's got some really nice lumbar support. I'm just talking logistics here.
You know, I'm okay with handing this on over to Brendan. I feel like this one's a little bit indecisive, so it should go to the reigning champ. This isn't a set in stone thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a debate topic, and sometimes it's just going to be an objective thing.
Should we draw the last predicament that we have and settle it officially?
You know what? Let's do it. This feels a little lukewarm. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, let's do it.
I had my hands ready on the buttons, but I'll wait.
Let's do it. So we're going to scrap that predict because, sometimes it just doesn't work out. And here we go. Okay, who's last to take down the Xmas decorations?
Brendan Fraser, because he's got a bad back.
Yeah, and he's probably got to do it himself.
Yeah.
Look, Johnny Depp's just got a team of people.
Again, I don't think Johnny Depp decorates for Christmas.
Yeah, he probably doesn't. Somebody comes and does that.
That's true too. Yeah, like he doesn't even have a Christmas tree up. He's got some weird like modernist art piece. It's just like a monolith that he places his presents next to that he's not wrapping in his like stainless steel room.
Is that where
Are you insinuating? I was going to say, are you insinuating that Johnny Depp is behind all the monoliths?
I mean, he could be. Man.
He could be.
He could be. Have you noticed on the top of all these monoliths, it says Amber Heard's a dirty liar. That's what's on top of all the monoliths. Maybe you guys missed that part of the story.
I think it's safe to say we're all Team Johnny, right?
Yeah,
I think that's where we're all leaning.
Oh, absolutely.
Just if we want to take a stance really quick.
Amber
Although
Heard.
I have to say, if we are talking about it, on takes, I don't even know what any of the accusations are. Like, I haven't read enough about it for me to say definitively. But I don't like Amber Heard, so that's part of it. But, she was the first accuser, and to my knowledge, it's been proven that she was making these accusations up.
Yeah, dude, homie showed up with a bunch of scars on his. He was like had his fingertips like cut off and stuff, or they were burned or something.
Nah,
his face was all beaten.
That's lame.
He looked real sad, man. They were sad photos.
We got your back, Edward Scissorhands.
But yeah, I think Brendan Fraser is leaving those Christmas decorations up for a little bit too long, man.
He's a through New Year's kind of guy, I feel.
Mm-hmm. And it's probably part of it's probably too because he's so like such a loving human being that he just likes spreading the joy around. It's probably a little bit of an intentional thing.
What a loving guy. Well, that's a wrap, everybody, on 2020. We've done it.
We did it, y'all. No more 2020.
Hey, thanks for sticking in with us, everyone, and come back next week for Galaxy Quest.
Hey.
Ah!